everybody, I'm Paul Dottino with the NEC Notebook, delivered to you by WB Mason. Sacred Heart's Nico Gillette and Joey Riley anchor the preseason men's All-NEC team. The rest of the squad is Ansley Almanor of FDU, Kellen Amos of Central Connecticut, and Stonehill's Max Zagorowski. The Pioneers are picked to win the title. The Pioneers got 7 first-place votes, followed by Central Connecticut, then FDU with 1 vote apiece to round out the top 3. A high five to Chicago State, which joins the NEC in July on the heels of a men's upset over number 25 Northwestern. On the women's side, Sacred Heart's Nasira Pryor and Sajeda Bonner lead the preseason All-NEC squad. They're joined by Merrimack's Jamie DeCesare and Kaylee Thomas, as well as Central's Belle Lanford. The Pioneers are unanimous selection to grab the women's crown after winning last season's NEC tournament. They are followed in the top 3 by Merrimack and Wagner. Catch free live conference action on NECFrontRow.com. Remember to follow the season on Twitter at NEC Sports and on the web at northeastconference.org.
Welcome to another NEC Front Row broadcast. I'm Father Malachi Van Tassel. I'm the president of St. Francis University. We have a number of amazing student athletes here at St. Francis. Academically, they are incredible. For 49 consecutive semesters, we have had team GPAs of 3.0 or higher. That's amazing. Our students do awesome things in the classroom. They also do amazing things competition-wise as well. Last year, our football team went undefeated in the Northeast Conference to win its championship. Women's track and field were also Northeast Conference champions as well. We're very proud of them. Last academic year also, every single one of our sports teams qualified for postseason play. That's the first time in our history that that's happened. That is a testament to how great our student athletes are. I hope you enjoy today's broadcast here on NEC Front Row. Enjoy a great competition and go Flash.
It's the 50th all-time meeting between Sacred Heart and St. Francis as both NEC teams come into tonight unblemished in the early part of conference play and are trying to keep that strong start going tonight here in Loretto, Pennsylvania, and on NEC Front Row. Alongside Bernie Jubek, Jack Ridenauer here with you. And Bernie, both teams come in fairly polar opposite records. St. Francis at 2-12, Sacred Heart at 7-8, but both are 1-0 to begin NEC play.
Hey, first place in NEC, tied for first with a number of teams, Jack. What more could you ask for early in the season? And we'll see what happens tonight after the game.
Absolutely. Again, these are two teams that have kind of gone back and forth over the various matchups that they have played against one another. However, last year it was Sacred Heart that swept the regular season series against St. Francis. But taking a look at both teams' most recent games, we'll start with St. Francis. They had a big win right here at home Saturday evening against Wagner, a fellow NEC opponent, 64-54. It was tied at 16 after the first quarter, but then St. Francis took a slim 3-point lead into the half, eventually outscoring Wagner 35-25 in the second half. And a big thing that I know we had talked a lot with Coach Keela Whittington about, Bernie, was that the ability for this St. Francis team to share the basketball, take care of the basketball, and also be very patient as well.
Jack, one of the closest perfection type games the Red Flash have played in a couple of years, really. Only turnovers, 16 turnovers, but yet really took care of the basketball basically, and again, just out-rebounding 43-22 over a Wagner team that's usually pretty aggressive defensively. But the big thing, too, only allowed Wagner 2 steals, and they've been in the top Division I programs in steals per game. So the Red Flash played on all cylinders and did pretty well.
A very complete game for the Red Flash, and it was Destiny Ward that led the way with 19 points, a career high for her. And how about Juliana Gibson? 15 points. She had 14 in the previous game against UMBC. She has really been rolling lately. And then Kendall Carruthers continues to have a really, really strong freshman season, added 13 points to the victory. Now looking over at Sacred Heart, they're coming off a recent victory against Merrimack, as they were able to take down Merrimack and not to mention in a fairly commanding way, 65-51. But the way they really did it, Bernie, was off of the ability to force turnovers. 32 turnovers that this Sacred Heart defense forced against Merrimack. It's the most turnovers that the defense has forced since going back to last year when they took on St. Francis. So this is a defense in Sacred Heart that is humming right now, and not to mention Nicira Pryor, a player that has continued to be a really big piece in the NEC, had her 6th 20-point game over the weekend.
Well, Jack, as you said, 32 turnovers produced 25 points, but the big thing is, too, they had 32 points in the paint, and that comes with good defense. You know, they get some transition points off that, and they are a very good half-court defensive team. They will press. We'll talk about that in some of the keys, but they worked on all cylinders, and their balanced scoring really helps them quite a bit, because who are you going to guard? Who are you going to key on? Even though Pryor seems to be the key, but other players can really step up with this Sacred Heart team.
And not to mention, I mean, you look at how Sacred Heart almost basically struggled from the three-point line in that win against Merrimack, with 5 of 20 from deep. And for St. Francis, they have also struggled shooting the ball from three. They went 2 of 16 from three on Saturday. So maybe we see both teams stay away from the three-point line and try and get inside.
Well, that's what's going to happen. You know, one of the things, again, Jack, we'll talk about the keys for Sacred Heart. You're talking to the coach before the game. They don't want to allow the Red Flash to penetrate. So they're probably going to give them that outside shot. So it's going to be how well we shoot the basketball, maybe from the outside. But we'll see what happens here in about 2 or 3 minutes.
The last win for St. Francis over Sacred Heart was February 26th, 2022, when it was a 74-68 final. St. Francis is 14-11 all-time against Sacred Heart when playing right here at home. So we'll see if they can get that 15th win coming up in just a little bit, as it's Sacred Heart taking on St. Francis next, right here in Loretto, Pennsylvania, and on the NEC Front Row.
On behalf of the Very Reverend President Father Malachi Van Tassel and Director of Athletics James Downer, good evening. Welcome to New Arena for tonight's matchup between the Pioneers of Sacred Heart University and your St. Francis University Red Flag. Before we meet the starting lineups, we ask that you please rise and face the flag above the main entrance to Goal Arena as we honor our great nation with the playing of our national anthem.
Back here at DeGaulle Arena on NEC Front Row, Bernie Jubek, Jack Ridenour here with you. And Bernie, the floor is yours for the starters.
Hey, Jack, before that, how are the tacos, by the way?
Delicious. My girlfriend and friends kept some for me, so I'm glad they saved some for me. I was so happy. Well,
that's good. I didn't want you to go starving that night on the way home. But I'll tell you, let's talk about the Pioneers of Sacred Heart from Fairfield, Connecticut. Under the 11th season head coach Jessica Minetti. She is a 2001 graduate of Concordia College, and they are 7-8, 1-0, as Jack precluded in the beginning of the game. They're starting, and we have an entire book on this young lady. Number one, Nicira Pryor, a 5'3" sophomore guard from Baltimore, Maryland. She went to Western High School, and she is Jack. Excuse me just for a second. I got to turn the light on here. You're always prepared, Jack. That's what I like about you. But she's averaging 17 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals a game. She does everything for the Pioneers. Number 3, that's Amelia Wood, a 6-foot sophomore guard from New York. She's averaging 9.5 points a game, 5.5 rebounds a game for the Pioneers. Number 4, that is Nalise Dudley, a 5'10" freshman forward from Norwich, Connecticut. 7 points, 4 rebounds a game, a nice-handed lefty. And number 23, that's Jaja Bonner, a 6-foot graduate guard from Cliffwood, New Jersey. 10 points, 3 rebounds a game, a preseason All-NEC player. And rounding out the starting 5 is number 24, Sarah Johnson, a 5'8" sophomore guard from Richmond, Virginia, coming in averaging 7 points, 4 rebounds a game for the Pioneers. Far Red Flash under the direction of Keel Willington. She's in her 5th year. All right, 2-12, 1-0 in the season. They're starting number 1, Cameron Dorsey. Cameron is a 5'6" freshman guard from Baltimore, Maryland, and she's averaging 4 points, 3 rebounds a game, and 2.5 assists a game for the Red Flash. Number 2, Kendall Carruthers, a 5'7" freshman guard from Holland, Ohio, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists a game in her 15th start of the season. Number 12, Juliana Gitsu had a great game against Wagner. 6.5 points a game, 4.9 rebounds a game. She's a 6'2" sophomore forward from Colts Neck, New Jersey. Number 23, Marina Altero from Spain, 5'11" freshman forward from Spain, as I said. 3 points and 4.7 rebounds a game for Marina. And Destiny Ward, what can you say about Destiny? She's a 5'8" sophomore hard-nosed guard from Baltimore, Maryland. She's coming in averaging 10 points a game and 4.5 rebounds a game for the Red Flash. Also leads them in steals with 21, Jack.
Should be a really good one here this evening. Thanks so much for joining us on NEC Front Row. Our officiating crew today, Josh Howell, Geraldine Smith-Washington, and Alex Leap.
I'm getting better, Jack. I know how to turn that thing off,
Well, hey, listen, you said I am always prepared. That's part of my job. I have to be.
I have to go to the dollar store to get one of those little flashlights now, when they turn the lights out here.
I hope it's still $1. Everything I hear.
$1.25 now.
Yeah, seriously. Soon enough, it'll be $1.50.
I better ask for a raise.
You and me both. I'll be right behind you.
Well, for St. Francis, I'll tell you what, they need to attack the pressure that the Pioneers are going to put on them today. Good half-court pressure, some full-court pressure. All right, and they really get into the lanes to stop penetration, take care of the basketball, reduce turnovers, and box out and rebound, which St. Francis does very well. The Pioneers have to slow down the transition of the Red Flash, try to control the pace, not let St. Francis get out and run, rebound both ends strongly on both ends of the floor, and take great shots. If transition isn't there, run your half-court offense to perfection. And Coach Minetti, that's the things that she stressed before the game.
And we're underway from DeGaulle Arena. Bernie Jubek, Jack Ridenour here with you. Both teams come in undefeated in NEC play, trying to keep that unblemished conference record alive as Pryor forces her way through. Johnson flips it up, rolls off the rim, and St. Francis with a good start defensively with Carruthers leading the pack. Now for Altero. St. Francis coming off their 64-54 win on Saturday against Wagner. Carruthers lets it go. Offside rim, Pryor with it. Nicira Pryor last year was the NEC Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year, as it's Shadeda Bonner that gets things going from 3 to start things off for Sacred Heart.
Yeah, Jack, her 26-3 of the season. She's not afraid to shoot it. Preseason All-NEC. Last year, second team NEC.
Sacred Heart ranks 5th in the 9-team NEC in three-point percentage at 24%. Ward, too much. And back down for Sacred Heart. But Ward, a player that's coming off a great performance on Saturday, Bernie, had a career-high 19 points.
Jack, you're exactly right. We've seen Destiny only because she is she's been back on the team. But, what an improvement that young lady's made. Really worked on her game very, very well. And it's paying off for her. That's good to see.
An illegal screen whistled against Nalise Dudley. That's her team's first of the first quarter. Dudley, a first year from Norwich, Connecticut.
This is a little, three-quarter court pressure by the Pioneers just to slow the Red Flash down a little bit.
Little diamond press that St. Francis breaks. Red Flash still looking for that first bucket of the contest, trying to extend their NEC record to 2-0 after today. Carruthers with 10 to shoot. Drives and a little short. A good move, gets bumped off her driving lane, and Sacred Heart with a chance to extend their 3-0 lead. Bonner looks around, back for Pryor. Team leader in points. Kicks it out. Bonner's three rattles out, and Dudley going 1-on-3 finds her way with the ball, but a little too strong on the shot, and back comes St. Francis. Dorsey penetrates, and an offensive foul whistled against Dorsey. A little too out of control for the freshman, and she gets whistled for her first personal, team's first of the first quarter.
And you know what, Jack? You have to, if you're Coach K, you gotta live with that, because you don't want to take away her aggressiveness. I'm talking about Cameron. I mean, she goes to the basket hard, and that's a good play by her, even though she got a foul.
Johnson barrels her way through, and it twirls off the rim. Strong move, just can't finish, and Carruthers comes streaking down. Still no points for the Red Flash. Trying to get that first bucket. Ward slips through. 8 to shoot. Carruthers lines it off the rim, and Pryor stretches to keep it in play.
One of the things the Pioneers are doing, Jack, they're keeping the Red Flash in front of them, trying to reduce that penetration, and taking some good shots, just not going in the basket right now for that.
Second chance by Bonner, no good, and Carruthers changes gears with St. Francis having no numbers. Drives through, flips it up, and again it just trickles off the rim as Gibson, not giving up, keeps it alive for the Red Flash. Long two for Dorsey. Good box out by Gibson, but it's taken down by Amelia Wood.
Well, she's all over the place, Jack, rebounding-wise. Amelia Wood, that is.
Early 3-0 lead for Sacred Heart. They're also 1-0 in the NEC, trying to keep that undefeated conference record alive. The reigning NEC champions in the Pioneers, as Dudley runs into the bottom of the backboard. And again, St. Francis with a burst of speed. Artero penetrates, shuffles, Ward finishes.
Nice cut by Destiny. Better look by Marina. Great assist.
Takes almost 4 minutes for St. Francis to score, but their defense keeping them in the ball game as they trail by 1. Pryor bulldozes inside and draws contact. She heads to the line to shoot a pair. That comes against Juliana Gibson. That's her first, team second. As Janessa Boyd checks in for St. Francis, and over for Sacred Heart, Kelsey Wood, along with Olivia Tucker.
Jack, we talked about Pryor. Last year, NEC Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, first team All-NEC, NEC All-Rookie team, 13 times NEC Rookie of the Week, which tied an NEC record, by the way. Led the nation in steals with 122, which is almost 4 a game. Also averaged 17.8 points a game and 4.3 assists per game last year, which led the NEC. So there's quite a resume for that young lady already.
Not to mention, she was the first player ever in NEC history to win Rookie of the Year,
yes, Player of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year. Talk about a perfect season. Absolutely.
Goes 1 of 2 from the line, and Sacred Heart up by 2.
And Jack, I'm a little biased here, but we've had some pretty good players here at St. Francis in the past. Nice drive.
A nifty move by Carruthers, and it ties the ball game at 4.
But that's quite a feat, because we had some players that were capable of doing such a thing. But once again, Pryor doing it, that's kudos to her.
Pryor averaging 17 points a game this year. 3 lined up by Wood, and it circles through. 7-4 Sacred Heart lead. Amelia Wood shooting just 20% from beyond the arc, but averaging almost 9 points a game.
Yeah, Jack, we said before the game, both teams, struggle a little bit from the 3, but yet not afraid to shoot it, which is good.
Up-tempo play from both teams. Wood wants another. Rattles out, and Pryor goes up too strong on the follow. Sticks with the miss.
Rebound.
Tucker puts it in. In a blink of an eye, it's a 6-point Sacred Heart lead, 10-4, as the 3's starting to rain here in Loretto.
Yeah, they're not afraid to shoot it, are they?
Well, it's been snowing lately, and right now I think it's just a downpour of 3s. As its last touch off of Sacred Heart stays with St. Francis. That sends us to our first media timeout.
Jack,
we'll keep it here.
I didn't have to pay to get in on Saturday, though I said that. They let me in for free.
I know. Yes, Bernie and I had a nice talk yesterday with Coach Keela Whittington, and Bernie had joked that he had to pay to get in on Saturday. But again, the weather keeping a lot of people away.
But they charged me to get out, though.
Interesting. You don't usually have it that way. Usually it's the other way around.
Well, when I coached high school, that's what happened. We didn't get any fans, so we let them in for free, charged them to get out so they wouldn't leave until the game was over.
Well, as long as money's getting in your pocket, I guess. Yeah. Well, Bernie, you and I were making a point before the game started. Looking at these teams statistically speaking, they're just about identical. Yes. I mean, just a 0.3 percentage difference in opponent field goal percentage. You look at the 3-point percentage, and that's, I mean, you're splitting hairs at that point in the difference. St. Francis at 25.6 and Sacred Heart at 24.3. Opponent rebounds per game, I mean, that might be the one big difference, with St. Francis allowing about 5 more boards a game than Sacred Heart. But again, statistically, these are identical teams just about.
And Jack, you're right. But the other thing that we talked about is because of being in the NEC, we've got to play teams, that are non-league schedule. That's pretty tough. So you're going to see some figures skewed there a little bit because of the teams that both of these teams have to play to get prepared for the NEC conference.
Well, this St. Francis team definitely went through the gauntlet in the out-of-conference schedule. 4 Power 5 teams that the Red Flash faced against: Penn State, Pitt, Rutgers, and Syracuse. It's the most Power 5 teams that they've played in a season since 2014-2015. So clearly just trying to get themselves ready for the NEC slate of games, as Harris Robinson has checked in for St. Francis. Ward with the step through, picking up where she left off just 2 days ago as she poured in 19 on Saturday. But Tucker gets lost in transition and leaves it short.
Destiny under control, Jack. Really nice move by her.
Pioneers lead by 4. St. Francis trying to make it just a 1-possession game. Ward bothered by Pryor, and she picks her pocket. Pryor with a burst of speed, blocked by Ward. Talk about retaliation. Destiny Ward getting her revenge.
Did not give up on the play. Great play by Destiny.
So Pryor with the steal, but Ward with the block. Inside of 4 to play in the opening quarter. Sacred Heart trying to pick up their 8th overall win of the season. St. Francis trying to get their 3rd. Tucker elevates. Well off the mark. Boyd with it. Janessa Boyd, another underclassman that has seen a large increase in her play as this season has gone on. Carruthers. Pryor with another steal. Takes it away from Gibson. 1-on-1 with Ward, and this time Pryor heads to the free throw line.
Pryor said you're not going to let that happen again. She used her body to shield off and going to get to the foul line.
Amelia Ward checks in for Sacred Heart, and Mariana Artero checks in for St. Francis. As Destiny Ward gets called for the foul. That's her first, team's 3rd.
We talked about Pryor, Jack, but Wood, Amelia Wood, last year was also an NEC All-Rookie selection. And she has a sister that's on the team too, Kelsey Wood.
Pryor good on the first free throw.
And Kelsey was in the 2020-21 NEC All-Rookie team.
It definitely seems to be a theme with this Sacred Heart program. A lot of the youth jumping onto the scene quickly and really, as they say, can't have a second chance to make a first impression.
Right.
Full court press getting to the red flash, but somehow they break it, and Boyd gets carried away. Too many steps and a turnover for St. Francis.
I'll tell you, nice job by Janessa. I mean, right idea, but just a little too hurried that time.
Sacred Heart doubles up on St. Francis, trying to extend this lead. Tucker finds Amelia Wood. 9 to shoot. Pryor kicks. Johnson lets it go and splashes in a triple.
I'll tell you, all set up by Pryor's penetration into the lane and allowed that nice pass out for a shot.
Largest lead of the ball game as Sacred Heart getting it done from deep.
And I'll tell you what, Jack, the red flash, I'll tell you what, you really have to give Coach.
It looks to be a correction on the shot clock.
Nice job, though, with Coach Keelis, that she has gone to this 2-point guard lineup, which takes some of the pressure off both guards to handle the ball a little bit better, and has seemed to work out for the red flash.
Boyd, and can't get the roll. Sacred Heart 4 of 7 to start from 3.
You see the confidence of with the St. Francis girls playing. They're really bouncing their step. They're really playing confidently.
The shot clock was never reset as it's winding down.
Yeah.
Pryor hoists it. Doesn't hit anything.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's Jack. Good observation. Yeah.
And Coach Jessica Manetti is wondering the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know if that can be corrected or not, but no, that's a. You have your strike. You have somewhat of a.
I have a checkered shirt.
Checkered shirt, yeah.
Maybe I'll start a new trend. Well, it was just unusual because, I mean, they had just crossed over half court, and what, shot clock was at maybe 10? Mm-hmm. So it might have been a shot clock reset issue.
They better ask you, Jack. They're going to come over and ask you.
I don't know if I'm the one they want to ask, though. But at the moment, it's a 9-point Sacred Heart lead. We'll see what they'll do. And my question to you is, Bernie, I mean, can they redo a possession that's already been played out like that?
I don't know the rule about that, Jed. That's going to be a good point. What?
It looks like we'll have.
We're going to have an explanation here.
We'll get an explanation.
Alex. If they find out that there was a miscalculation on the time, they would adjust it and give it to Sacred Heart.
Very interesting. Something that you don't typically see all the time.
By the way, Jack, what's Kara halfway when you get home tonight? Hey, belated happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Jack's birthday, so everybody back home watching this and sing happy birthday to Jack.
Yes.
Can you hear the crowd?
I can hear it. I can hear the beautiful happy birthday.
Oh.
No, at home, I don't have any dinner waiting for me. I have my bed waiting for me when I get home, which is quite all right. I have no problem with that. As we're back to action with St. Francis trailing by 9. Both teams come in 1-0 in NEC play. One team's perfect record will stay alive after today. The other will obviously change. Dorsey. Ward. 9 to shoot. Drives 1-on-2 and travels.
You're not going to see many mistakes by Destiny like that. I mean, traveled, but again, usually she does a great job of landing on 2. That time, slid her pivot foot for a travel, but you're not going to see many mistakes from her like that.
Kelsey Wood feeds Johnson. Bonner tees it. The rebound secured by Dorsey. Well, we talk about the patience, and that's something that we had mentioned yesterday with Coach Whittington, and that she had tries, or at least continues to try to implement for this team, is being a little bit more patient.
Yes.
Boyd slips around, too strong. The rebound by Kelsey Wood, and here comes Sacred Heart trying to bring this lead into double digits. Amelia Wood blows past Ward and puts it in.
Boy, that's a great move. Top of the key, great ball fake, drive right, layup.
Amelia Wood up to 5 points to lead all scores. Dorsey finds Boyd. Good ball movement by the Red Flash. Ward too strong on the pull-up, but Boyd Gets it on the ricochet, goes up and blocked by Kelsey Wood. Last touch off Sacred Heart. As Kendall Carruthers checks in for St. Francis. Takes out Janessa Boyd. And Nicira Pryor re-enters into the ballgame for Sacred Heart. 36 seconds to go in this opening quarter. An 11-point lead for Sacred Heart. Largest that it's been so far this evening.
Jack, by the way, Washington or Michigan?
Washington. I'm going to go with Washington tonight. As Gibson gets bumped on the drive. And Kelsey Wood, the culprit. That's her first, team second of the first quarter. Well, obviously not the quarter that St. Francis probably wanted, but maybe an opportunity here to finish out the quarter on a bright note.
Yeah, taking some good shots, though, just haven't fallen.
Carruthers, three on the way, all air. Artero right there, spins around and finishes. Great job by Artero, good tracking by her. She makes it back to a single-digit deficit, but still a 9-point difference. 14 seconds to play, shot clock turned off. Pryor taking her time. 8 to play. Amelia Wood with 5. Circles around, now with 3. Pryor penetrates and draws contact. Just barreling her way through the traffic.
Yeah, she uses her body very well. Kind of reminds me of our Cameron Dorsey, who also uses their body very well, drives to the basket.
Ward picks it up. That's her second, team's 4th, but that could be a big second foul for Destiny Ward right before the end of the quarter. As Boyd checks in to take out Ward. Pryor with a pair of free throws coming her way.
Both teams' common opponents, Jack, by the way, NJIT and Morgan State. Red Flash beat Morgan State and lost to NJIT. Sacred Heart beat both of the schools, so that's, again, a comparison. And I'll tell you, the SPAL, talking to Coach Nettie before the game, you know, they got into the first 4 last year in the NCAAs, played Southern, beat them by 10, and boy, was she excited and happy when we talked about that a little bit. I mean, a good thing for the program, no doubt.
Well, we hear about that excitement when we come back for our second quarter of action right here at DeGaulle Arena. 10-point Sacred Heart lead, as we'll see if St. Francis can change that next on NEC Front Row.
All you need to do is get up, raise your hands, make some noise. I hear a small t-shirt. I hear some down here. We got large, extra large. Large? Large. Anybody else want one? Cameraman wants one up there. Over here, these guys, how about a smoke over here? Yeah, make some noise over this way. Catch it. Yeah, off the tip off. 2 more here, 2 more shirts. I see one down here. Oh, buddy, here we go. Oh, there it is. All right, ready right up here. Oh. There we go. So that's shopnortheastconference.com if you'd like to buy your own NEC merchandise. Let's go, fans. Let's make some noise here.
One quarter in the books, 3 more to go. Bernie Jubek, Jack Ridenour here with you. A 10-point Sacred Heart lead, and really, Bernie, I think a huge difference in this one so far, the 3-point shooting. The Pioneers 4 of 9 from deep, while St. Francis 0 of 3 from beyond the arc.
Again, taking good shots, Jack, just not falling right now for the Red Flash.
Carruthers, and Boyd shuffles the feet. And again, that goes back to Coach Whittington continuing to try to get this group to be patient, but she really loved the energy from the bench and just how upbeat everybody was on Saturday for one another.
Especially with the underclassmen, no question about it.
Bonner. The 50th meeting all time between these two programs. Amelia Wood lets it go. Too strong, and Pryor comes away with it. Back to Johnson. Amelia Wood on take 2. Again, too strong, and Pryor somehow sneaks around with it but travels. She's averaging 6 rebounds a game this year, Bernie, and she's listed at 5'3".
She's everywhere, Jack. She really has that nose for the basketball, doesn't she?
Just an incredible job that she does. Averaging also 4 assists per game this season. Just does everything for this Pioneer group.
3 steals. I think she has 2 already, at least 2.
Yeah, 2 steals, 3 assists, 6 rebounds, and 4 points. Gibson going to work, but runs into Dudley's block. The kick ahead to Bonner, 1-on-2. Bonner takes it herself and scores inside.
Defense creates good offense. That's what happened that time with the Pioneers.
And that's exactly what this Sacred Heart team did on Saturday against Merrimack. Had 25 points off of turnovers, and they forced 32 turnovers.
Yes.
Carruthers a long 3. Artera with the follow. Backs her way down. Gibson pestered. And last touch off St. Francis. And right now, nothing going the Red Flash's way as they trail by 12.
Early on, Jack, I'll be honest with you, the Red Flash just looked like, a little too back on their heels, not looking to attack like they did against Wagner on Saturday night or Saturday afternoon.
Destiny Ward re-enters for St. Francis, playing with 2 fouls. Really the only one for either team in any sort of foul trouble. Amelia Wood backs her way down, but runs into a rejection. Great job by Gibson to stay straight up. St. Francis trying to keep this deficit at bay. Trail by 12. Dorsey. Pulls up and too strong. Ward comes crashing in. And Pryor off to the races. Goes 1-on-3, slips through. Pretty move by one in red.
Well, I love the way she keeps her head up and she just goes right to the basket. I think a great timeout by Coach K with 7:44 to go here in the second quarter.
We'll take a timeout ourselves. 22-8, Sacred Heart putting up some points and a little separation right here at DeGaulle Arena and on NEC Front Row.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Holmes.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
Sacred Heart in front by 14, their largest lead of the day. Jack Ridenour and Bernie Jubek here with you. And Bernie, I have to ask early on, what have you seen from this Sacred Heart team that has, in your opinion, kept them in front of St. Francis?
One of the things, I think they're playing outstanding defense, not allowing St. Francis to over-penetrate, keeping St. Francis, limiting them to one shot, and getting the ball out and transitioning and getting some easy baskets, Jack.
St. Francis trying to chisel away at this deficit. Ward whittles out space. Carruthers, 10 to shoot, streaks through and throws it away. Bonner with the help defense. Up to Johnson. Knifes inside, finds Tucker, her 3. Too short, chase for the loose rebound, and Dudley gets bumped by Boyd. Foul comes against Janessa Boyd. That's her first. Team's first of the second quarter. As Marissa Shelton checks in. St. Francis shooting 21% from the floor and have yet to make a 3. 0 for 4 from deep. And Sacred Heart, they're shooting 28% from the floor, but 33% from 3. Pryor. Bonner. 6 to shoot. Bonner streaks in, runs into trouble, and Ward with the takeaway.
That's good half-court defense by the Red Flash.
Charges in, flips it up, and gets the roll. Destiny Ward up to 6 points to lead all Red Flash scorers, building off that 19-point performance on Saturday. Bonner, second leading scorer for the Pioneers. Johnson crosses. 10 to shoot. Bonner lets it go, all backboard. And St. Francis now trying to put together a little run. Carruthers finds Shelton. Shelton tees it. And a long rebound for Bonner.
Bonner had 17 points versus Red Flash last year. 5 of 8 from the Beyond the Arc last year.
Bonner was a preseason All-NEC selection this year.
Transfer from Quinnipiac.
Pryor with a couple crosses. What a nice move.
I'll tell you, double cross and just a pull-up jumper. Heck of a player.
Nycera Pryor has had 6 20-plus point games this year. She had 15 of them last year.
Yes.
14-point advantage for Sacred Heart. St. Francis just looking for offensive traction. Carruthers. And an illegal screen. Yes. Juliana Gibson gets whistled for it. That's her second, team's second of the second quarter. As Dorsey checks in for St. Francis and Amelia Wood checks in for Sacred Heart. But nothing going St. Francis's way right now.
Not much to say, Jack. You just keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully the shots will fall. But certainly there's not going to be any quit in the Red Flash. We can guarantee you that.
Pryor finds a crevice, takes advantage, and a little bounce too. Man, oh man. Nycera Pryor so good at operating in little space.
Good stop and go, yes.
Brings it up to a 16-point advantage. Artero stumbles, chucks it up. Dudley with the board, and Sacred Heart with numbers. Johnson barrels inside. Amelia Wood. Dudley. Yes. Everything falling for the Pioneers.
They're taking some good shots, Jack. Good transition, but making the extra pass, taking some very nice shots. Open shots.
An 18-point advantage as Dorsey's pass taken away by Pryor.
Another steal.
Pryor saying, I'll take it myself. Off the heel. Artero snags the rebound. Here comes Dorsey. Bolts down the court. Carruthers throws her shoulder in and whistled for the offensive. So the offensive foul against Kendall Carruthers, her first, team's third. As Fanta Dafa checks in for St. Francis. And it looks that it's a timeout, but a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it in this 30-second timeout. 4:17 to go in the second quarter, and Sacred Heart starting to race away with this, 28-10. And Bernie, if you're St. Francis right now, what are you doing to try and fix some of these problems?
You know what, Jack? You continue to do what you're doing. I mean, as we alluded to, they're taking good shots. They're just not falling. But they need to do, one of the things Coach K said is that they have to box out and keep Sacred Heart off the boards, and we haven't been doing a very good job of that right now, at least in this first half. So box out, try to limit them to one shot, and you really have to help the helper defensively. We're leaving them open for some wide open shots, covering down, helping out, and rotating defensively, which the Red Flash seem to be a little flat-footed thus far in this first half.
Well, 11 turnovers for St. Francis and 3 for Sacred Heart could very well tell the tale of this one so far. Largest lead of the ball game, an 18-point advantage for the Pioneers. Amelia Wood kicks it out. Bonner make that Johnson's triple goes through as the lead balloons into the 20s.
That's what that dribble penetration does. You have to help on the dribble penetration, then they kick it out for a 3, and Sacred Heart is making them right now, Jack.
Boyd looking for an answer, and Amelia Wood skies for the board. Pryor Sacred Heart trying to stay undefeated in the NEC. Dudley backs down and can't get the bounce. Boyd secures. Here she comes looking for a little space. Carruthers, eyes up, takes a shot, and it's secured by Dafa. She flips it up off the mark, and the rebound taken care of by Amelia Wood, as Sacred Heart really stomping on the accelerator here in the second quarter as we approach the 3-minute mark. Amelia Wood steps out for three. And Johnson crashes out of nowhere. Boyd swivels away. And it's last touch off Sacred Heart. Actually, it's a foul.
It's a foul, yeah.
Against Olivia Tucker. So that's her first, team's first of the second quarter. Faith Pappas checks in for Sacred Heart, getting her first bit of action. Pappas, a transfer from Fordham, played in 6 games last year. St. Francis also undefeated in the NEC, trying to keep that mark alive after tonight as Boyd swims through, but Amelia Wood taps it to herself. Great defense inside by Sacred Heart. And to your point, Bernie, something that Coach Whittington mentioned, having that post presence against the Sacred Heart team that runs so many guards is going to be so important, but has not happened, as Pryor with a nice, nifty move.
Yeah. And, you know, Janessa Boyd taking some good shots. Again, just not falling, Jack, but again, Pryor, you know, what control of her body that time with a little Euro step, all right, controlling and getting fouled and getting to the foul line.
Dafa picks it up. It's her first, team's fourth, as Artero takes a seat. Harris Robinson checks in for St. Francis, and Pryor again right back to the free throw line.
This is unique. You don't see this too often, where you see, in this case, on the first shot, first of two, 4 Pioneer players at the top of the key waiting for it to shoot it. Now they're in the lane.
Split trip for Pryor. She's now 5 of 8 from the line tonight. She shoots almost 74% from the stripe. Boyd threads the needle, fight for the loose ball, and Pryor sneaks away with it.
Look at her.
Drives in, using her body well, swerves back, and she travels. One too many moves as Dorsey checks in for St. Francis. And over for Sacred Heart, Ty Davis enters into the ball game. Artero re-enters for St. Francis. Little over 2 minutes remaining in this second quarter. St. Francis last year was swept in the regular season by Sacred Heart. Last time these two teams faced off, St. Francis fell 68-34 at Sacred Heart. The last win was right here on this very home court for the Red Flash in 2022, as Carruthers blocked inside, and Davis brings it into the front court.
Well, they did a great job of great help defense, Jack. They being the Pioneers.
Kickball stays with the Pioneers. Sacred Heart on a little bit of a run right now themselves, currently on a 2-game winning streak after losing their previous 3 games. But in that stretch, they went up against Iona, Providence, and Vermont. 3 very strong teams out of conference. Tucker with the hezzy, elevates. Dudley with the board, works inside, and it pays off. Nalise Dudley finding a little space and enough to score. And this lead has swelled up to 24 for the Pioneers.
5'10" freshman knows how to use her body inside.
Carruthers slithers through, and a foul on the floor.
Pioneers foul number 2, Ty Davis, her first.
Check that. Shooting foul, so not on the floor. Comes against Davis. That's her first, team's second of the second quarter.
Substitution for the Pioneers, number 13, Emma Kirby.
As Emma Kirby checks in.
For the Red Flash, Kendall Carruthers, shooting 2.
Carruthers has had a really strong freshman season, averaging 11 points per game. However, she has struggled from 3 over the last few games. 1 of 15 combined during that span.
And, Coach Keela said that one of the things that she thinks is happening is that she's, hurrying a little bit too much, trying to do too many things rather than, letting the game come to her. She's trying to do too many things, and she'll learn that with experience, Jack.
The point that you made is a great one. I mean, it's the experience, right? I think some of that speed, maybe that feeling rushed, if you will, that comes from the inexperience, not getting accustomed to the college level of play, right, especially at this level, at the Division I level.
Exactly.
And Tucker travels. (34-12). Sacred Heart has been up by as many as 24 points in this first half.
Not a second quarter that's going to go down in the annals of this season, Jack, for sure. 4 points.
Carruthers loses it, but it stays with St. Francis. Well, Sacred Heart has outscored St. Francis in this quarter alone, 16-4. St. Francis is 1 of 11 from the floor in this second quarter. Sacred Heart 7 of 17. 40 seconds to play. Artero gets freed up on the block. And now it's a 20-point difference, but I'm sure maybe 1 or 2 stops before the end of the half might build some confidence for the Red Flash. (17 seconds remaining, 12 on the shot clock, 4-second difference. Tucker with 7 to shoot. Davis with 3, drives in, hits all air as the shot clock goes off, but a travel.
2.2 seconds to go.
So in an odd turn of events, it stays with St. Francis, as at first I thought it was Sacred Heart ball.
I thought so too, Jack.
2.2, Carruthers with 1, lets it go! All air as we go into the break. A 20-point difference as the reigning NEC champs, Sacred Heart, on top 34-14. And we'll see how St. Francis bounce back in this second half. Don't go anywhere. Bernie and I will be back for a little halftime. And then before you know it, the third quarter for you at home right here at DeGaulle Arena.
Jack, do you think we'll have a chance to go up and see what Chris may have in his refrigerator up there at the top?
He might. We might. We'll see if he lets us up there, and we'll be back right after this.
We'll have the door locked.
On NEC Front Row.
The Sharks are your inaugural Northeast Conference Volleyball Champions.
It's a day for the Knights as FDU wins it.
Merrimack Warriors are your 2023 men's basketball champions.
Lofted far down the left field line. It is gone. A 3-run homer.
Chambers in lane 5 runs away with it. The Sacred Heart Pioneers are Northeast Conference women's basketball champions.
We are excited beyond belief to welcome the Lemoyne Dolphins into the NEC family.
Always with her head on a swivel. Sullivan, that is filthy.
St. Francis, they win the 2022 Northeast Conference Championship.
I'm a big kid from Pittsburgh. It's the way you growing up in the area, what you see, what you've been through, the people you're around. It's just a culture, I guess you can say. Pittsburgh, it's just tough guys. I started working out with my dad when I was 12 years old. At first it's something that, he kind of made me do. We used to wake up 4:30 in the morning in high school before school. He said, well, everybody else is sleeping, you up working. It's gonna pay off for you. It's not easy. You gotta make sacrifices. Biggest decisions I ever had to make my junior year. I had my daughter at the time, so, I'm like, I gotta provide. I had the opportunity to leave early. When I turned my film in, I didn't get the grade that I expected I would get. I think they gave me like a 4th, 5th, 6th round grade, something last round. I had to make a decision. Was I gonna leave or was I gonna come back to college for an extra year? I'm about to cry talking about this. It's crazy. Once I made that decision to come back, my mindset wasn't just to be good, it was to be great. It ain't about what you're doing when everybody's watching, it's about what you're doing when nobody's watching.
Hello guys, this is Isaac and we're talking about milk in this video.
Marcel and I are friends. I think we met each other when we were babies. Marcel's playing with his pen.
Estelle is my sister and she's 4.
Like your cousin.
I want to drink. So today's episode, we're moving on to a quiz. What is your favorite kind of milk?
Chocolate! Chocolate! Because it has chocolate milk inside.
That means we're starting off with this stuff. I'm first because I'm the boss.
Me and my dad have white milk every single night, and we sing a song, and it goes like this: nighttime, milk time, nighttime, milk time, nighttime, milk time, nighttime.
Stop.
It has a dance to it.
It's good.
Yeah. Who can make the best milk mustache? You! Yay!
Everybody raise your glasses.
This is a very good meeting.
About the missed call in Detroit, denying pitcher Armando Galarraga a perfect game.
Barrett will cut it off. Galarraga covers. He's out. No, he's safe. He is safe.
Why is he safe?
Umpire Jim Joyce apologized.
You took what could have been something terrible for him, and I think you made something positive.
Oh, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes a mistake.
What's the message that you take from that night and tell young people that are playing the game?
Sometimes the stuff is not going to go your way. Don't start focusing the solution or the problem, because it's not going to get you to the right way.
And Jim Joyce is standing up, and he is calling balls and strikes, and he has just taken the lineup card. And now a hand for Armando Galarraga as he walks back. What a special moment here today.
When a student comes to St. Francis University, they come with gifts and talents that are unique to them. It's our role to help those students become the person that they are meant to be. Become that someone who is mindful of the poor. Become that someone who is one who has a heart for service, a mind for excellence. Become that person who cares about other people as a St. Francis University graduate.
There's DNA. Then there's heavy-duty DNA. HDNA. It's what every GMC Sierra HD driver is born with, and it's engineered into every aspect of the GMC Sierra HD, with the pulling power to prove it. The new 2024 GMC Sierra HD. Tow hitches of the world. Prepare for glory.
Did you know the largest candy store on the East Coast is just a short drive from St. Francis? The Blair Candy Company in Altoona, where Frankie and the Red Flash get their sugar rush. Your favorite chocolates, gummies, lollipops, and all the novelty treats you remember as a kid. Great bulk and wholesale pricing has Blair Candy shipping to businesses around the world. Shop online at blaircandy.com or stop by the outlet store to make game day even sweeter.
I'm Bill Walton, and you're watching St. Francis University basketball, only on NEC Front Row.
Here at the half at DeGaulle Arena, as it's a 20-point advantage for Sacred Heart over St. Francis in this NEC showdown. Bernie Jubek, Jack Ridenour here with you. And Bernie, obviously a lot of different things to try and pick apart from that first half. But I think one of the many things that kind of jumps off the page right now is the turnovers between these two teams. St. Francis with 12 and Sacred Heart with 5.
And Jack, you're exactly right. And Sacred Heart has taken advantage of those turnovers by scoring 10 points off of the forced 12 turnovers by the Red Flash. But most other statistics are pretty even. And as you said, the problem is Sacred Heart has 6 players that have scored thus far in the contest in the first half. Red Flash, only 3.
And one of those 3 in Destiny Ward with a little bit of foul trouble that she had in the first half. So she might have to play a little bit differently and maybe not as aggressively as she would like. But another point that you made to me when we weren't on air yet was that you look at the shooting percentage for these two teams, and really Sacred Heart is not shooting the ball all that much better. I mean, sure, 32% is better than 21% for St. Francis, but a big difference is 37 shots attempted for Sacred Heart and only 28 for the Red Flash.
Jack, the big thing there, too, you look at the three-point attempts for the Red Flash, 0 for 7, you know, and that you got to at least put one down so that, you know, you have to be guarded out there. And that's, you know, it's a game. It's a game of give and take, and right now Sacred Heart is trying to force St. Francis, hey, if you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us from out front, but you're not going to beat us on the dribble drive to the basket. You know, Sacred Heart has been successful thus far in the first half.
I will say, Bernie, that I think something that St. Francis has done a nice job of is scoring inside, and I know that was a theme on Saturday. That's something that Coach Kayla Whittington had mentioned to us, was that this St. Francis team needed to have a post presence against a Sacred Heart team that runs mostly a 4 or 5 guard offense. Yes. And St. Francis was able to outscore Sacred Heart in the paint 12-10 in the opening half.
They are getting the ball inside, Jack. I mean, they are getting penetration, not what they probably want, but you have to give the Pioneers credit is that they're not leaving their feet. I mean, they're staying vertical and forcing the Red Flash into some difficult shots, but they are getting into the paint. And the Red Flash, I think, are just hurrying just a bit too much. You know, that old adage by the late, great John Wooden, be quick but don't hurry. And that's what the Red Flash have to do here in the second half.
Well, on top of being a little bit more patient, I mean, what else do you think this Red Flash team can do in this second half to try and get themselves back into this ball game?
Jack, nothing takes the place of putting the ball in the basket. You know, you put the ball in the basket, you set your defense up. All right, you know, you have an extra bounce in your step, and you just have to score. You just do what you're doing, but put the ball in the basket. You know, and easier said than done, obviously, with a team that plays defense like Sacred Heart.
Well, we have 2 more quarters to see who is going to be the winner and who's going to be the loser in this one, as both teams 1-0 in the NEC. One team will stay undefeated while another will pick up their first conference loss when we return for the 3rd quarter right here at DeGaulle Arena and on NEC Front Row.
Northeast Conference Volleyball Champions.
It's a day for the Knights as FDU wins it.
Merrimack Warriors are your 2023 men's basketball champions.
Lofted far down the left field line. It is gone. A 3-run homer.
Chambers, it laid 5 runs away with it. The Sacred Heart Pioneers are Northeast Conference women's basketball champions.
We are excited beyond belief to welcome the Lemoyne Dolphins into the NEC family.
Always with her head on a swivel. Sullivan, that is filthy.
St. Francis, they win the 2022 Northeast Conference Championship.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela burns it.
An incredible finish by Hall. The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
Back here at DeGaulle Arena, Bernie Jubek, Jack Ridenour here with you.
Jack, I got to tell you, I got to set a shout out to John Levison. John's an evaluator of officials for the NEC, and it's, number one, these officials are doing a great job, John. John couldn't make it Saturday, but John, I got to tell you on the air, no reason why you shouldn't be here tonight from New Jersey, okay?
Well, hopefully John did hear that message. If he is watching, thanks so much for joining us. And thanks.
About a good person, Jack. Excuse me for interrupting, but he's a great person, John. We wish him the best. Happy New Year, John.
And a Happy New Year to all that are watching and listening from afar. That's Bernie Jubek. I'm Jack Ridenour as we get set for second half action here in Loretto and inside of DeGaulle Arena.
These officials may never get another game now after I get to say something like that.
or they'll get all the games with the high remarks that you're giving them.
How about the evaluator? The evaluator's upstairs, Jack, doing it. Kathy Bean.
Dudley. Dorsey with the board. A burst of speed going 1-on-3. And the opening bucket of the second half belongs to Cameron Dorsey.
Jack, I like Coach Kay's, she says, you know, there are no 20-point plays in basketball, so you just get a little bit at a time. That's what the Red Flags have to do, just chip away, and get a few points at opportune times.
Well, a nice start for the Red Flash here. 2 straight stops and a bucket. Ward lets it go. And misses off the mark, and it's last touch off Gibson. Back down for Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart 7-8 overall. Trying to improve to 2-0 in the NEC, the reigning NEC champions. And St. Francis sitting at 2-12. Picked up both of their wins this year at home, trying to get that 3rd win of the season. But an important win on Saturday as they are now 1-0 in the NEC. Bonner, and a strong move inside. Sajeda Bonner having a really nice performance here this evening. Up to 7 points now on the evening for her. Dorsey. Ward. She has been playing very well as of late. Finds an avenue. Back for Artero with 6 to shoot. Barely skims off the rim if it even did. As its last touch off Sacred Heart, Dudley could not keep herself in play. So only 3 seconds on the shot clock for St. Francis. I'm assuming maybe something around the rim.
Yep. Well, you work on these time and score situations, Jack, you know, not only for end of the game, but situations like this, like you said, with 3 seconds to go. There it is, a good play, very good play.
Artero finds a crack in the bottom of the basket. Carruthers almost with a steal. But back in a hurry come the Pioneers as Bonner laces a triple.
Jack, we say no appreciation time in basketball. You know, you have to get back defensively. Red Flash, good out of bounds play, scored. Didn't get back quickly enough.
Carruthers wants an answer, and Dudley with great positioning down low. Here comes Pryor. Burst of speed, slithers through, and a great finish inside.
I'll tell you what, Jack, she'd get through a piece of paper. She's so, sinewy to get to the basket like that.
Nycera Pryor averaging 17 points a game this year, shooting 42% from the floor. Red Flash look to answer, is Ward off the mark.
Nice box out by the Pioneers that time.
Amelia Wood, bullseye. Everything going for the Pioneers as they are putting on an offensive clinic here in Loretto.
I'll tell you one thing, Jack, if you're a Pioneer and you get Pryor the basketball, sprint down the floor because though she scores, she's looking to pass the ball too. Very nice move by Carruthers that time.
And what a move it was for Carruthers. She's got a chance at 3.
And we'll tell you what, we've said this before, Jack, there's no give up in the Red Flash. I mean, we're down 24 right now, but you know the Red Flash are not going to quit. They're going to play, and they're going to play hard and continue to do so. And, again, chip at this, and who knows what may happen. Still a lot of time left.
Sierra Johnson picks up the foul. That's her team's first of the third quarter. The Sacred Heart off to the races again. Bonner, and she draws contact. That comes against Ward. And that's her third.
Yes.
Team's first of the third quarter. But now Ward again with 3 fouls, and that might change the way that she's accustomed to playing. As Bonner gets the first. Bonner, a transfer from Quinnipiac.
It's interesting, Jack. It'd be nice to know why on the 2 shots that the team stays behind him on the first of 2 shots.
Well, at times I've seen teams that do that, maybe just to give their teammate a little breathing room. Don't want to crowd them, but definitely a unique thing to see.
Yeah, first I ever saw do that was the late, great Jack Bruin that coached at Colgate. Jack played at Paramore, was the point guard with Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And Jack would put his players back. He said, why try to foul or get in a position where we might foul on a foul shot?
Boyd swivels, spins, airballs.
Jack was one of the funniest coaches. God bless him. He's in heaven, probably having everybody in an uproar up there telling basketball jokes.
That or making them run 17s. Pryor squeezes through. Doesn't matter if she's got an inch or a centimeter. She's able to just find enough room to wiggle through. And now the lead balloons up to 27, the largest that it's been all evening. Ward with a few zigzags, almost left it, runs into the backboard, and then Dudley rips it away, gets into a wrestling match. Held ball, and the arrow favors St. Francis. As Johnson, along with Pappas, both check in for Sacred Heart.
Jack, one of the things, this is experience, but one of the things about the Pioneers is their people that they put in, there's not much of a drop-off with the first 5 and the subs they put in. They all seem to play together, and that's experience, and the Red Flash will get to that point sometime as well.
7 to shoot as Ward barges in and draws contact.
No quit in destiny. She's gonna battle and battle and battle, Jack. 3 fouls or not, she's going to take it to the basket. She's going to play hard.
Olivia Tucker picks up the foul, her team's second. Well, Destiny Ward having a really strong sophomore season, averaging almost 10 points per game and almost 5 rebounds a game as well. She was 3rd on the team last year in scoring at 7 points a game. It comes up empty on both as Dudley with another strong rebound. She's got now 10 rebounds this evening to go along with 4 points. Really nice performance by the first year.
Nice pass.
And she benefits from a beautiful feed by Pryor.
Good inside-out dribble by Pryor. Get into the lane, and then, again, when you have inside-out help, Jack, defensively, all right, left the inside open, and they had easy score.
And Ward earns herself a trip right back to the free throw line.
No quitting by Destiny. You know that.
Sierra Johnson, the culprit, her second, team's third, as Kelsey Wood, along with Amelia Wood, check in for Sacred Heart. We're looking at Nicira Pryor's stat line tonight. 15 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals.
Jack, I'll tell you what, it's amazing. Unbelievable.
Be of an evening.
No. That's a career for me.
Ward gets the second. Right now, St. Francis just looking for some sort of answer to try and pull themselves out of this hole that they're in. They trail by 27 to the reigning champions of the NEC. Both teams 1-0 to start conference play. Amelia Wood goes up, and a rebound secured by Robinson. Takes it right off the rip. Boyd, Carruthers, punctures the defense and loses the handle, but it stays with St. Francis.
Going to be immediate timeout, Jack. Looks like.
That sends us to immediate timeout. We'll stay in the media timeout. 49-22, Sacred Heart building quite a bit of separation between themselves and St. Francis. And again, the last time that St. Francis beat Sacred Heart, February 26th, 2022, it was right here at home in a 74-68 final. But last year, and in the last meeting these two teams had, it was a 68-34 final in favor of Sacred Heart. And really the key returner, at least the key player for the Red Flash that is still on the team now, Destiny Ward. She only had 4 points the last time she played Sacred Heart. And tonight, Ward with now 8 points with 2 rebounds, a steal, and a block as well.
And she's not allowing those 3 fouls to deter her in how hard she's playing, Jack. And that's the sign of a true competitor. And, you know, when you talk about a competitor, Destiny Ward, she's in that picture there, vocabulary right there. She only knows one way to go. That's to play hard. And again, you know, Jack, if you've seen her last year, you would have, what a difference because of the hard work that she's done through the offseason.
Well, a year ago, this St. Francis team finished 7-22 overall. 5 of their 7 wins came here at DeGaulle Arena. And for Sacred Heart, they finished the season 19-14. But it was a first for Sacred Heart, the first double-digit win season that they had since 2019-2020. But it was the first winning season that Sacred Heart had since 18-19 when they went 19-13 that year. However, Bernie, you look at Sacred Heart's start last season, very similar at least to a lot of the other NEC teams in the conference. Sacred Heart began last year 2-8 before going 8-2 through the NEC play as Ward runs into Amelia Wood's rejection.
And again, verticality, they just stood straight up.
That textbook defense, so important.
And Jack, you know, they have the size that they don't have to leave their feet.
Coach Whittington had mentioned the presence inside was going to be important for St. Francis, but seems that Sacred Heart has had the better of the two in that department.
By the way, Jack, have we convinced Kara to listen to the broadcast at all?
Not yet.
We're going to get her to listen so I can give her a shout out.
I know. I told her that she was featured on the last broadcast we had, but she kind of shrugged it off like she wasn't a big deal. I said,
oh, she is a big deal.
I know. That's what I tried telling her, but in one ear and out the other. Foul comes against Destiny Ward. That's now her 4th. Team's 2nd of the 3rd quarter, but again, one more and Ward's gone as Johnson snakes around and draws contact inside.
Again, you know, you keep hitting hard on it, but right now the Pioneers playing with a lot of confidence, a lot of aggression, taking the ball to the basket, getting fouled, getting to the foul line. All right, and again, that's experience and confidence, Jack. And the Red Flash, they're going to get there, no doubt about that, but it's going to take a while.
Dorsey and Artero check in for St. Francis.
As Coach Keela said, Jack, it has become baptism by fire because a lot of these freshmen who, you know, she didn't expect to get a lot of minutes. Now they're getting a lot of minutes because of injuries and transfers and whatever. So you have to be ready. You know, no longer are they freshmen per se, Jack.
Absolutely, and I think that can be said for really everybody on this St. Francis team with how much time and experience that they have earned at the college level. And, quite frankly, I think you have to also take into consideration that these are student athletes, so they're not only getting used to playing at this level, but playing and also being students and juggling that back and forth and trying to manage their time.
Right.
Ward lets it go, finds the bottom of the basket as Destiny Ward into double digits with 10. And despite her playing with 4 fouls, like you said, Bernie, still playing very aggressively.
I like the fact that Coach K keeps her in because, she's the one that's getting most out of it.
As Faith Pappas drills a triple. And whether you're starting or coming off the bench for the Pioneers, you're getting your name in the stat sheet. Here's a near steal as Amelia Wood into a race with Boyd. And Boyd now picks up her third. Team's fourth of the third quarter. And that's another thing that Coach Whittington has mentioned is the foul trouble that this Red Flash team has run into and how, to build off of your point, that's forced her hand to play some players that maybe are out of position, out of rotation. So definitely it becomes a snowball effect, if you will.
And getting back to the point you asked me before, right now is where fundamentals come to play. And I know Coach K spends a heck of a lot of time on fundamentals, but that pass right there, running through the basketball. Don't wait the pass come to you. You've got to run through the ball, catch the ball, Red Flash, and they'll get that as they get more experience against good teams like Sacred Heart.
Approaching the final 3 minutes of this third quarter. Sacred Heart in complete command of this one. They're looking to go 2-0 to start NEC play. Dorsey finds Boyd and can't serve off glass. An empty transition trip. Sacred Heart on the other end. Tucker spots up and puts it in.
That's the dagger, Jack. You miss a nice layup up here. No, nothing against that. But then you go down, they hit a three. That really takes the wind out of your sails if you're St. Francis right now.
Points continue to pour in for the Pioneers. Ward splits through and scores.
God bless you, Jack. 4 fouls, all right. Struggle a little bit, but there's no quit in Destiny Ward.
And there's really no quit in this St. Francis team. Exactly. Still putting some pressure on this Sacred Heart team.
Do the little things, Jack, that are going to make you a better team with other games.
Johnson elevates and is able to cash in. Sierra Johnson, averaging almost 7 points per game, was a very strong high school player where she scored 1,000 in her career at TPLS Christian Academy. As Boyd goes 1-on-2 and runs into a Pioneer block. Johnson with a burst of speed and scores in transition.
The women, by the way, Jack, they are Saturday, next 3 games are on the road. Saturday at Central Connecticut State, so they get Central Connecticut State, FDU, and then LIU on the road before they're back home, which is on the 21st, a Sunday against Lemoyne.
They will no doubt be tested over those next few games. Amelia Wood finds Kelsey Wood into the spin cycle and the hook shot. Great patience inside, and now it's the Pioneers that are winning the battle in the paint.
The confidence just gets bigger and bigger, larger and larger, Jack.
As that stays with St. Francis. Gibson and Carruthers check in for St. Francis, while Davis, along with Bonner, check in for Sacred Heart. Inside of a minute to play in the third. Pioneers up by their widest margin, 33-point advantage. The Sacred Heart team is 5-0 on the year when they lead at half, as Dorsey trying to impose her will inside. Ward twirls away and causes the held ball. Goes back down for Sacred Heart.
Jack, in case you're interested, Michigan's up 7-0.
How much time?
I'll let you know in a second.
For those of you at home wondering, it's the
4 minutes in the first quarter
national championship game for college football. But we hope that you also have us on your viewing screen at home for some NEC basketball on a Monday night. Tucker snakes around on the screen and finds the bottom of the basket on the three. Everything going for Sacred Heart.
Well, what a second half, Jack. Really a third quarter shooting the lights out.
Ward plows through and again earns a trip to the free throw line. Comes against Sajeda Bonner. That's her first, team's fourth of the third quarter. And Ward goes right back to the free throw line. Ward, a native of Baltimore, Maryland.
Zach, has Pryor been in the game recently? I'm kind of out of it here a little bit.
I don't think she's played much in this second half. No, it's a good point, Bernie. But quite frankly, I mean, I think that Coach Minetti is probably aware that, hey, if this one is starting to become a runaway or a race away, maybe you rest your star and give her a little bit of time.
And that's a good point. You give some other people who may need minutes later on, give them some of the quality minutes right now that they need.
Pappas weaves. And Carruthers comes away with it with 0.6 on the clock.
It's going to be 2 shots too, Jack.
And draws a foul. Ty Davis picks it up. That's her second, team's fifth. So to your point, now that puts Carruthers at the free throw line. Carruthers, a really, really strong high school player from Holland, Ohio, averaged 17 points a game her senior year.
And Jack, you talk about a young lady too that's determined. This young lady can play. She's a heck of a player. Going to be one of the St. Francis all-time greats, I think.
Puts in both. 3 quarters down, Bernie. 1 to go. As we'll see how this final quarter shakes out. Sacred Heart in front by a wide margin, 64-32, when we return right here at DeGaulle Arena and on NEC Front Row.
Heavy Duty DNA is smart. Like offers the most trailering assistance tech in its class, smart. The new 2024 GMC Sierra HD, engineered with Heavy Duty DNA.
Sacred Heart doubling up on St. Francis, 64-32. Lead's been as many as 36 in this one tonight for the Pioneers. And St. Francis right now just looking for some positives to try and take away from this one. Robinson off the mark. Amelia Wood with the rebound. Runs into Carruthers. She strips it free.
Yeah, nice. Take it to the basket. There you go. Good.
One-on-one. Ball fakes and goes up.
Yeah, great move.
Great patient move by Carruthers.
Waited for the defense to commit and then did the opposite. Great move by Carruthers.
Amelia Wood filters through and gets the roll.
Amelia Wood.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Wood, sophomore, she's very aggressive going to the basket, Jack.
Player that can score inside and out. Last year, she led the team in three-point percentage. Ward draws a foul.
Yeah, I think last year she made 39, I believe, right?
Dudley picks up the foul. It's her second, team's first of the fourth quarter. As Artero, along with Boyd, check back in for St. Francis.
Reiterating the red flash lineup, number 0, Janessa Boyd. Number 23, Marina Artero.
Ward probes. Carruthers lets that one fly from State College. And Artero with great hustle, but saves it over to Dudley.
I still like the fact that Coach K's over there, they're still trying to get the players to run the offense. Again, things that aren't going well tonight, but we may need these things later on. So fundamentally, concentrating on the fundamentals.
You speak of fundamentals right there, just securing the ball, step number one, and Carruthers loses it. So it stays with Sacred Heart.
Like tennis, Jack, unforced errors. You can't have unforced errors.
And you hear about it in really any sport as Dorsey checks in. When you have those almost self-inflicted wounds, it's hard to overcome that.
Absolutely.
Pryor. And an illegal dribble.
Might be the first mistake she made tonight.
Yes, she has pretty much been mistakeless, if that's even a word. 15 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals, and now just 3 turnovers. 8-to-3 assist-to-turnover ratio. Not too bad.
Not at all. You can live with that.
Carruthers finds a lane. Dorsey along 2. And Dudley, another strong rebound, her 12th. Up ahead to Bonner. Goes 1-on-2, soars inside. Little too strong, and here comes Boyd. Carruthers with no numbers. Goes in on Johnson. And then she earns her chance at some free throws.
Once again, Jack, as you said, Kendall Carruthers, Destiny Ward, no quit in those 2 young ladies. They just take it to the basket, they take it hard, and they want to get to the foul line. And Kendall coming into today's game, Kendall is 84% from the free throw line.
Carruthers has twice been named NEC Rookie of the Week this year. Most recently on December 4th, and also did it on November 27th. As Coach Whittington, I think, wanted an over and back, but you have to have both feet and the ball over half court. Pryor, a slippery move, and gets freed up. Man, oh man. No matter how crowded she might be, she still finds a little bit of space.
I mentioned Pryor, and she's back in the game and making a difference again.
Pryor with a steal. All alone, an easy finish.
Jack, how many steals is that for her, if I may ask?
That's now 4 steals. She's up to 19 points tonight. Having herself an evening. Boyd tries her turn at a 3. And Amelia Wood goes on the top shelf for it. Baseball pass ahead. Johnson leaks in and scores.
What an assist. She should be playing in the Washington-Michigan football game.
And you can just tell as Carruthers drills a 3 that some of the energy maybe has been evaporated from this St. Francis team as Bonner going coast to coast. And Carruthers able to secure.
But Jack, this is the discipline though. Discipline yourselves to do the little things that you're going to need to go for the next game. Get yourself better for the next game.
As Pryor propels herself forward. Inside of 7 minutes to play until this one wraps up. Amelia Wood left alone. Rattles in a triple. And anything St. Francis is giving Sacred Heart, they are taking full advantage of.
No question. Timeout yet?
Timeout, red flash. Timeout.
As that sends us into our final media timeout, as we'll take one as well. Inside of 6 minutes to play in this fourth quarter, Sacred Heart running away with this one on their way to their second conference win right here at DeGaulle Arena and on NEC Front Row.
Did you know the largest candy store on the East Coast is just a short drive from St. Francis? The Blair Candy Company in Altoona, where Frankie and the Red Flash get their sugar rush. Your favorite chocolates, gummies, lollipops, and all the novelty treats you remember as a kid. Great bulk and wholesale pricing has Blair Candy shipping to businesses around the world. Shop online at blaircandy.com or stop by the outlet store to make game day even sweeter.
I'm Bill Walton, and you're watching St. Francis University basketball, only on NEC Front Row.
(75-39), Sacred Heart in the driver's seat and not giving up the wheel. Bernie Jubek, Jack Ridenour here with you. Bernie,
Jack,
just
at halftime we went up there, shooting from up there. Chris had the door locked. We couldn't get into the refrigerator.
Well, yeah, he's keeping us out of the refrigerator.
Son of a gun.
Unbelievable.
We'll have
to complain to HR or something. Gibson, +1.
Now, see, that's the aggressive move that Juliana has to do. Excellent move. Turn to the baseline, shot fake, come back into the middle, all right, and score and get to the foul line, right? The young lady can do it. She has proven to herself. It just has to be, match the aggressiveness of the Pioneer inside people, and Juliana did it on that possession.
Foul comes against Emma Kirby, her first, team's third, as Gibson completes the three-point play.
Those are her first points of the evening, right, Jack?
Right you are, Bernie. As an offensive.
Illegal screen, yeah.
An illegal screen whistled against Kirby, so back-to-back fouls committed by the first year. As she now has her second and team's fourth of the fourth quarter. St. Francis struggling from the floor and from three tonight. Trying to salvage this one as much as they can.
That's a good thing, Jack. 4 fouls on the Pioneers, none on the Red Flash with 5:23 to go. So there's a positive defensively. What are the Pioneers, Jack? I don't know if you can see on your screen. What are they shooting in the second half, may I ask?
I can see third and fourth quarter shooting as that one rattles around and through. Nysera Pryor picked up the foul. I'll correct myself. I had said that Kirby's previous foul was the fourth. Pryor's foul was the fourth, so one more and it sends St. Francis to the line. Kirby draws a foul. Comes against Gibson, her third. Team's first of the fourth quarter. As we've got a full timeout, but we'll keep it here. Bernie, what is something that this St. Francis team can maybe build on from this?
Well, Jack, again, I'm not sure if you call it build on it, but, again, you stress composure, patience, doing your thing. Coach is a big believer in talking to her many times of playing your game, letting it in the flow of your game. And that's what you stress to him. Hey, even though by all means it seems like this is going to be a difficult comeback today, but you just do the things that you need to do that are going to make us better as a team collectively, individually and collectively, I should say. And again, doing a pretty good job defensively, but closing out a little bit better on shooters. All right, running the offense, taking good shots, being aggressive. That's the only thing you can ask. Play hard. Play hard.
Well, to do some quick math, this Sacred Heart team in the second half is shooting 73%, almost 74% from the floor.
You're not going to lose.
Not to mention,
games,
they're 6 of 6 in this second half from three.
There you go.
So a big difference. They're 11 of 21 from deep for the ball game. Shooting 52% from three, 48% from the floor. St. Francis's three-point woes continue. Just 1 of 14 from deep.
And if you're Coach K over there, you're saying run the offense, do the things that we need to do, to become better, and little strides, little things, and they'll do that.
Inside of 5 to go in this fourth quarter. Bernie Jubek and Jack Ridenour here with you, hoping that everybody is staying warm. I know it's been pretty cold outside.
Well, don't go out tomorrow morning, Jack. It's supposed to be pretty nasty tomorrow morning.
That's what I hear.
I don't know about, back your way, but here it's supposed to be a little nasty. And I don't know what they brought everybody back to the huddles. I don't know what they're checking.
Yeah, not quite sure what they are looking at. As Coach Whittington also over trying to get an explanation. Bernie, when we were having our talk with Coach Whittington yesterday, I had mentioned to her about the toughness of this out-of-conference schedule that St. Francis had, and she really kind of emphasized the importance of this St. Francis team trying to learn something from that out-of-conference schedule and trying to take something from each game and apply it really to the conference slate of games.
I don't know if Coach K does this, Jack. I don't think like the official's going to come over and tell what's going on here, so we'll hold off on that thought for a minute. They're looking at the discrepancy on the foul shots, Jack. They may have been in the bonus on that last foul.
Well, I had mentioned that I thought that it was the fourth foul, and then another one happened, and they had not changed it. So, no matter, we'll get it sorted out.
And, Coach, I don't know if Keela does this or not, or her staff does this, but, a lot of times what some coaches will do, especially when you have a very tough non-conference schedule, Jack, is that you take all the games that you have played and you pick out the positive things of those games, against this team, and you combine them and you show that, hey, look, if we execute offensively, this is what we can do. If we box out, we can get this, we can transition, we can play defense, all right? And you make it a positive thing rather than showing the things, obviously, that will happen, if you don't do it right. So, especially with a young team, I think you have to stay upbeat, and I think Coach Keela does that very well.
The last team foul.
Did you get that, Jack?
I did. So, essentially, what was going to be the fifth foul had not changed to the foul. It was just still the fourth, but they now are going back, correcting it. So the foul that was at the 5:23 mark are the free throws that are being shot now. So Sacred Heart is in the bonus, or excuse me, they have hit their limit for fouls. So now it's St. Francis that's in the bonus.
Well, Jack, cold weather affects the clocks and affects everything,
Yeah, cold weather's definitely not ideal. And look here, Bernie. It seems that St. Francis is doing what Sacred Heart is and keeping some players off the free throw line. And now the players flood the free throw line. Second one good for Kirby. Well, obviously a lot of things that can be built on for this St. Francis team. And again, Bernie, you mentioned it, and something to continue to reiterate. This is a very young Red Flash team. So they have a lot of growing. As Ward has that spit out, and Kirby secures the board.
And needless to say, Jack hit a buzzsaw today because almost flawless in the second half, Sacred Heart is playing.
And Carruthers gets a little handsy. Their second, team's second of the fourth quarter.
Now, for those watching and listening, Red Flash men are back here on Saturday, the 13th, against Central Connecticut State University, while the women are at Central Connecticut State. The women play at 1.
I mentioned to you that it's a nice long break for Pat Farabaugh.
Yes. In Florida.
Enjoying the warm weather as Kirby carves out space. Amelia Wood flips it back up and in.
Yes, that's little things, Jack, boxing out, putting the body on the player, not letting him get his chance for a second shot.
Well, this is one of the best rebounding teams in the conference, in Sacred Heart, tied for second in rebounds per game at 35 as Ward barrels her way inside, collides, and it stays with St. Francis.
Almost thought Destiny got a little body push there going into the basket.
Montana Nix checks in for Sacred Heart. Nix, a native of Englewood, New Jersey. Ward drives in, and again off the mark.
Again, taking good, driving to the basket, Jack, just not going in.
Ward with 18 points tonight.
Shot clock didn't change.
As Boyd checks in, along with Artero, and Gibson and Ward both check out. And again, give Destiny Ward a lot of credit. 18 points, 7 of 16 shooting, 2 rebounds, a steal, a block, and playing through foul trouble with 4 fouls. Marissa Shelton also checking in for St. Francis. Davis over to Nix. Davis slashes, loses it, and Shelton with the steal. Here comes Boyd. Shelton. Inside of 3.5 to play. Artero. Back to Dorsey. Tries lacerating through. A soft floater. And Kirby able to pull it down. Dorsey right there. Almost pulls off the heist. But it goes back down for Sacred Heart.
Nothing beats size, Jack. You know, you have those bigs underneath for Sacred Heart. Get the rebound, you know, with those long arms. And they're controlling things, obviously.
A little over 3 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. And you can just feel all of the air being sucked out of the balloon for St. Francis right now. And after riding real high from their win on Saturday against Wagner, a little bit of a drop down here against Sacred Heart. As a whistle comes in, the foul against Boyd. That's her 4th, team's 3rd. And I had mentioned to Coach Whittington, you know, what are you going to do, or do you have any concerns about having a young team with such a quick turnaround? And she had mentioned how it was not really hard to get this St. Francis team motivated for a game like this because, A, Sacred Heart is the defending champions of the NEC, but also some of these players for St. Francis have played or have played against Nicira prior in AAU basketball. Right. As Davis off the mark on the long 3 and Kirby able to chase down the miss. But again, just such a short turnaround for a young group still trying to learn and figure out all of those inside and kind of unique aspects to college basketball as the offensive foul whistled against Kirby.
Well, Jack, one of the things too is that you know, this class is not in session yet. They don't go into session until this coming Monday, so they have a lot of time. I mean, film, shooting on their own, maybe individuals, practice, and a lot of basketball time while there are no classes.
Not to mention a lot of team bonding time.
Yep.
Growing some of that team chemistry. A 3-second violation as Doffa gets caught camping in the lane. Bridget Scanlon has also checked in for St. Francis as she is the sister of a member of the men's basketball team here at St. Francis, Brendan Scanlon. And that one splashes through for Pappas as the Fordham transfer getting her name in the stat sheet.
Yeah, again, confidence runs abound, Jack. Coach is just, all she's doing a substitution. Nice move by Keela.
And back to the note on Scanlon. Their grandfather, Brendan and Bridget's grandfather, was part of the Ohio State team that won the national championship. And if I'm not mistaken, last year when the St. Francis men's team went to play Ohio State, their grandfather was actually honored at halftime for being part of that team.
Was that Bob Knight and on that team too?
That I don't know. I unveiled all of the knowledge that I have, and now I give that knowledge to you, my friend Bernie.
We're going to have to pass it on for the next broadcast, perhaps.
Inside of 2 minutes remaining, Sacred Heart can just feel that second straight NEC win in their hands. There's Pappas with the steal. Sacred Heart, they want more. A little sidestep and finish inside. Pretty move, a little scoop and score for Faith Pappas. Approaching the final minute. Shelton. Back to Dorsey. Shelton, little step back. And why not? As Robinson almost pulls down the board. Scrum for the loose ball, and the arrow favors Sacred Heart.
There's the hustle that's going to keep St. Francis. I mean, they, no matter what the score, they're going to go after that basketball like they did, Jack, with 61 seconds to go.
Well, a minute left, and Sacred Heart, they'll move to 8-8 overall, improve to 2-0 in the NEC. And over for St. Francis, they'll fall to 2-13 overall and 1-1 in the NEC. As the lead now up to the widest margin, a 40-point advantage. Kirby and Sacred Heart just will not stop the offense. As the dam has broken, and it's an all-out offensive flood right now. Down to the final 21 seconds. St. Francis just looking for a nice quality final offensive possession.
Ran into a buzzsaw in the second half, Jack.
Robinson, the rainbow. Why not? But final 8 seconds. As Sacred Heart will dribble out the clock, and that does it. As the Pioneers come out victorious, and now they pick up their 3rd consecutive win. They move to 8-8 overall, 2-0 in the NEC, and St. Francis 2-13 overall, and 1-1 in the NEC. As we'll have Coach Keila Whittington join Bernie Jubek for a little post-game conversation. Bernie doing his post-game walk around the table. Looking at some of the final numbers before Coach Whittington joins us. Sacred Heart shot 50% from the floor, 54.5% from 3. And for St. Francis, they shot 28% from the floor and 12.5% from 3. Another struggling night for the Red Flash, especially from deep. They were 2 of 16 on Saturday, 2 of 16 once again this evening. As we'll have Coach Whittington come and join us.
Coach, 86-47, kind of a buzzsaw in the second half, unfortunately, for us or against us. And your comments of the game real quick.
Well, I think what this game showed us was we have some things that are going well for us, and we're not at that level yet, right? So, Sacred Heart has been picked to finish first in the league. They won it. They went into the NCAA tournament last year. They showed that they are a great team right now, and we're not at that level. So we still have some work to do, but we're surely not down in the dumps like we can't play. So it's a matter of keeping the team together, keeping them focused, and then taking it one day at a time, right? One day, one game at a time, and continuing to put it together.
Well, Coach, we have 3 on the road coming up, obviously, so does that make a difference? I mean, obviously, I think you'd like to have the next one at home, so you have some time here on campus to work with the kids and things like that, but does it make a difference now that we're going on the road?
Well, we're still in break as well, so we have the time to work and to get them in the gym and to watch film and to do things like that. And look, I mean, the conference schedule's here, so home, road, it doesn't matter. Like, every game matters, so we will compete one game at a time. We will prepare one game at a time, and we will, try to play St. Francis basketball. It's not like we're trying to prove that the first win versus Wagner was a fluke. Our team is a work in progress, and we will continue to work and get them to understand the little details, what it takes to compete in and out every single game, and what it's going to take to beat, quality basketball teams. And, you know, we consider like every team we're going to face, everybody wants to win. So we got to compete and prepare every single game.
And I know you'll do that, Coach. And best wishes on the road to you, and we'll see you when you get back in a couple weeks. How's that sound?
Thank you so much. Go Red Flash.
Thank you, Coach, very much. Good luck to you. Once again, Jack, I'm going to give you the final score, 86-47, where the Red Flash fall to 2-13, 1-1 in the conference. As you said, Sacred Heart 2-0, 8-8 overall. And Jack, I'll tell you what, as close to perfection as we've seen a second half by an opposing team in a long, long time. I mean, Sacred Heart working on all cylinders and really playing very well in that last 20 minutes of basketball.
Without a doubt, Bernie. And like you said, a final score here from DeGaulle Arena, 86-47 as Sacred Heart improves to 8-8 overall, 2-0 in the NEC, and St. Francis falls to 2-13 overall and 1-1 in the NEC. For our entire crew here today, our producer and director, Chris Miller, my broadcast partner, Bernie Jubek, this is Jack Ridenour signing off, never saying a goodbye, just to see you later, right here at DeGaulle Arena